Before we even get started, I just want to say thank you, bro. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been showing love, that's been showing support. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to the YouTube channels that agree with my sentiment that we should be doing this blackout. You feel me? I want to say shout out to Ville, shout out Charles Brown, shout out to Cypher, shout out Quality Reaction, shout out Big Kish. I appreciate y'all. You see what I'm saying? But there is a bigger conversation that we gotta have here. There's a much bigger conversation that we could have here. We could talk about No Life Shack and Boom all day, but we be ignoring the actual conversation that we need to have right now, bro. And I just want y'all to imagine. Let's say Kendrick Lamar and Tupac, right? They have pretty similar fan bases, yes or no? I don't think they're exactly the same, but if you are a Tupac fan, you're probably a Kendrick Lamar fan and back and forth, right? Imagine if Kendrick Lamar of today and Tupac Shakur of today took their audiences, took their followings, right, and created a movement of some sort. You talking about millions and millions of people following something. You see what I'm saying? Whether the ideology be this or that, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about a lot of manpower, okay? It's the same thing the Democrats do. It's the same thing the Republicans do. They get an ideology and then they preach it out there and get a bunch of people behind it. It's no different than a political party, right? So why is it so hard for people to recognize me with my 65,000, bro with his 75,000, bro with his 80,000, bro with his 100,000, bro with his 200,000? We can make differences. We can mobilize. We can organize. This ain't just about hip hop. Now, I want to get to this thing where everybody trying to make it seem like I'm trying to get on people's heads if they react to the Drake and all this. That's all propaganda. That's propaganda. And I'm going to let them have the propaganda because Exodus 14:14. But when we talking about the power of boycotting, this is how I know people don't take hip hop seriously. And they don't see hip hop as political. What you're seeing right now is the difference between people who think hip hop is just a genre of music that you enjoy and people who believe that hip hop is a rebellious music and it is the rebels music and it is the voice of the voiceless. There's a difference. And there's a difference based on the weight people put on hip hop, based on the decisions that they make around hip hop. And why is it so hard for people? Like, nobody would question a Target boycott. Nobody would question a Target boycott. Oh, y'all shouldn't be targeting. Actually, I take that back. There's always that group of people who's saying y'all taking it too far. It's not that serious. But I swear, motherfuckers, when it's not that serious, they self into a concentration camp if you let them. I promise you. It's not that serious until it is. Every motherfucking time. But let's look at this Target thing, right? Did the Target boycott work? Here's what to know and which boycotts are still happening. Thousands of people signed up to boycott Target last month after the retail giant decided to roll back on its DEI initiatives. I know y'all knew about this. You see what I'm saying? This is a huge conversation going on. And pretty much, leaders of the boycotts believe that they are having the effect they want, pointing to dipping in stock prices and data showing a decline of online and in-person activity at Target and other targeted companies. But other data shows a different story. And this is where they probably got to do their propaganda here. They got to make sure that people think that it's not working. But that's what I want everybody to understand here. What is the difference between this and hip hop? Somebody tell me. It's that you don't take hip hop as serious as you take Target. That's the difference. You can call me crazy. That is the difference. You don't take hip hop as seriously as you take a Target. People still hold hip hop in this regard where it's not to be taken seriously, that it's not a lifestyle, that it's not something that people genuinely grew up in. You see what I'm saying? And because of this, they don't understand why some people will believe that it's that serious. That a nigga who is threatening the ability or making this a potential liability, making hip hop artists a potential liability, even making content creators a potential liability by putting them in this lawsuit. There could be major repercussions for this. There could be crazy repercussions for this. So you telling me that because I see my 65,000 and I see your 75,000 and I see your 80,000 and I see your 100,000 and I see your 200,000, and the fact that I make a call to action to say, whoever want to get involved, get involved. Let's do something. Let's quit talking about it all the time. Let's do something. You mad at me because I made that call? You more mad at a nigga that made the call than a nigga that created the circumstance for the call to be made on. And that's not even just for no life shit. That's for everybody that feel away. Especially when I went out my way and make sure to say that I understand if you're going to react to it. Go do it. You see what I'm saying? And it's not just no like that's a situation. But I'm getting attacked on all fronts and I don't give a fuck. So let's make that clear. I don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, that's where you're seeing it all come from. I think because they recognize the same thing I recognize. You got 80,000. You got 90,000. You got 120. You got 50. We working with 400,000 people that we can mobilize for some shit that really fucking matter. And the thing is, if you really love hip hop and you a content creator, that means the people who follow you love hip hop, right? And more oftentimes than not, since we had this shift going on, those people probably are aware that hip hop is also political because they recognize the hip hop shift. So what does that mean? You have the potential of 350,000 people possibly aligning all on the same thing. And that's that hip hop is for the people, by the people. If we can take that and mobilize that when Target decide to do something like this, or when Boo Boo Boom decide to do something about this, and it's time we can mobilize. But everybody's so focused on this other shit. Everybody's so focused on optics and boom, 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 and what it's about. And that's why niggas won't. 1 second they'll tell you, fuck it, we not rocking with Drake. But then the next second niggas mad at me because I said it. You feel me? And this is just me being as real as possible. You see what I'm saying? And that's all I'm trying to say. If one thing you gotta remember is every time it's time to organize, shit be like getting disrupted on the inside. I know y'all remember the collective, right? And I'm bringing up the collective because in my opinion, that was like an unfortunate sequence of events. But once again, when niggas start to organize, the disruption come from the inside. It come from the inside. And most of that time, it's because everybody involved is not aligned on the same page. This is why when you organize, you align with people who are on the same page as you. You see what I'm saying? Because then it can be disrupted from the inside. Something that's picking up steam. Something that people really believe in and agree with. That we should do this because the person who was trying to get back in position, even the people who disagreed initially, once they watched my video, they agreed. So let's make that clear. But what I'm saying is, with all these people who believe in this, with all these people who believe in the same thing, we for sure can make a difference. And what's wrong with taking the opportunity to do that? What is niggas so mad about? I don't understand. Okay? And this is another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about this grifter thing that everybody just throwing around. You see what I'm saying? Because I think it's interesting. A grifter is somebody who gets money dishonestly by tricking people. So I don't understand why these dudes is trying to say shit like, oh, you capitalizing off the Kendrick and Drake, boom, boom. What you mean capitalizing? What are you talking about? These are my real, authentic opinions. Are you good? I'm covering the nigga. They don't take hip hop that serious. Once again, I'm going to show you. How long niggas been talking about the 2016 finals on ESPN? How long niggas been talking about the 2016 finals on ESPN? That's because it's a core history within that genre of entertainment. The same thing is happening here in hip hop, but you know what niggas mad about? Or niggas don't understand or don't get? people don't take hip hop that seriously. So when they see a nigga like me, it's gotta be grifting. No, I'm dead fucking serious. I'm dead serious. I noticed that there's another side, and that's another thing I want to talk about. But we're gonna do it after this. How could you be dishonestly or tricking people when these are your authentic opinions? That's number one. These are my authentic opinions. On top of that, I am of the culture. I don't understand how a nigga, just because a nigga got a badge, he is more qualified. But I am of the culture. I do the things that I'm talking about at a very high level, in my opinion, and in many other opinions. I've been co-signed by some of the most legendary battle rappers of all time in the battle rap arena. I believe that I rap very well on that sells well. Many people have said so, including the people like No Life Shaq who checking out my hip hop. Why wouldn't I be more qualified to continue to talk about this battle? Oh, you know why? Because people don't take hip hop that seriously. That's why. So they would allow, so this is what niggas don't understand. Nobody is telling them dudes over there to stop creating false narratives. Right? What people don't understand is when propaganda is getting spread around and people start picking up on it and there's no alternative conversation, that becomes history. That's what y'all not getting. So I'm glad I did this video so I can break it down for y'all. When propaganda is being swung out there and there's no opposing conversation, that becomes history. Why do you think there is such a concerted effort to silence journalists who talk about these wars? Because they want to control the conversation. Y'all think just because it's hip hop, that's not what's going on. That's what's going on. That is exactly what's going on. I'm glad I decided to not make such a politically correct video because this needs to be, we got to be honest about this. When we look at the other side, they just got done trying to rehash that Kendrick Lamar is a wife beater, right? And niggas, I take the opportunity to use my platform to debunk this or platform other people who are debunking this. And instead of people looking at me and saying, you know what, he protect or helping protect a black man who's from the culture and is helping the culture. He's using his platform to try to be the neutralizer of bad propaganda. Instead, they'll say I'm a grifter and I'm just trying to make money. What are we doing? It don't make no sense. And because it don't make no sense, I assume there's ulterior motives. But once again, I'm not going to be the person to say that's facts or not. I'm just saying it don't make sense. Or people just speaking before they actually come to my channel. When people say, oh, you just make Drake content, they don't I know y'all understand. This is why I don't feel the need to get on the internet and say, this is what I'm doing. Y'all understand. We use pop culture as a precipice to have broader conversations. That's what we're doing. I just use the things of the pop culture that I like. I like Kendrick Lamar. I like hip hop. So the things that stand against that, I am not for, and I will speak out against. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. But once again, it's impossible for somebody like me to be a grifter. That's all I'm saying. How could I be a grifter? I'm of the culture, and I'm giving you my honest opinions, and I do everything that I'm talking about. How am I less qualified? Oh, because y'all don't take hip-hop that seriously. Oops. 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 We got to call it what it is. Let's start calling it what it is. You feel me? Niggas want to be able to run narratives on this culture all motherfucking day, and they don't want us to oppose it. So all day they go on Twitter. All day they go on Twitter speaking the same thing over. Say it again, say it again, say it again, say it again. And it becomes fact. That's how propaganda works. The Drake community wants to sabotage the people they deem as pro-Kendrick. So they spin their narratives all day. all day, and they're connected to a bigger conglomerate all day, until all of a sudden, people who felt one way about the battle are talking about it in a different way now. People who felt like Drake should not be in, we shouldn't be giving him no time when it comes to his music, all of a sudden want to do that. That's how propaganda works. That's how it works. My job is to make sure I'm countering that propaganda with facts. That's it. That's my job. That's my job. And to speak out against the things that are going against this culture. All right? For example, when it comes to Drake, you are supposed to speak out against the antics. You know why? Because they are going to spin their own narratives about the antics. So you have to speak out against the antics. The music is where he'll get back in position, not the antics. So you cut off the line with the music. That's what you do. You cut off the line. And that's all I was proposing. Let's cut off the motherfucking line. And I appreciate everybody that agree with that. And if you don't agree with that, that's okay. But don't get mad at me because I don't try to step on me because I am not going to slide. And then this is my thing. People say, "Oh, you gonna react anyway." Y'all niggas, bro. If you was here, you know that I said I'm not reacting to sexy songs either. Do you see any sexy song reactions on my page? No. I already have done this. The difference is my platform wasn't as big. That's the only difference. Some sexy songs, I said I wasn't going to react to that album, and I didn't. That's the facts. So when you look at it from that perspective, why are we acting like this is something new? This is not new. The only difference is my platform was smaller. Okay? And if we just talking about, look, niggas can't call me a grifter. You got me fucked up. You can't call me a grifter. And the niggas who want to call me a grifter be co-signing grifters. Literal grifters. Niggas who were making neutral content at one point, and now they're making content for the other side. I've never been neutral, nigga. I've never been neutral. How am I the grifter? My opinion has been the same since I got here. Since I got here, go do the facts. Do the research. Since I've got here, I've had the same opinion. Just because I started doing my content this year in January, do not mean that my opinion. No, I'm a content creator in general. In general. So let's just make that clear, bro. These are my 100% opinions. This is what I believe in, okay? And I believe that we should not be reacting to that motherfucking Iceman album. Period. And I could have got on here and tried to step on niggas and try to squash niggas and all that. But this is a much more important conversation. And I don't even got no bad animosity with nobody at all. Y'all supposed to feel how y'all feel. Okay? And this could have, you know what I mean? Y'all supposed to feel how y'all feel. I'm not going to go here and get on here and try to explain the situation. I'm not going to do that. Exodus 14:14. All I'm going to say is that at the end of the day, we can organize. And I think that there's no reason that somebody that's on this side should be trying to disrupt that. Just do you. And let niggas do them. And to all the content creators that do agree with what and to all the content creators that do agree with what I'm saying, it might be time to organize and do it the right way. It might be time to organize and do it the right way. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? It might be time to really to organize and do it the right way. And put and lock our arms. You see what I'm saying? For something bigger than this than what we talking about here. In general. Hip hop is political, man. It's by the people for the people. Equality. You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel. And I feel like if we can align on those principles, if we can align from that perspective, then we can organize. Simple. You feel me? But that's all I really wanted to say. I know niggas might try to turn this into something else. I honestly don't care. I really don't care because I think the message is more important. You feel me? So, yeah, I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here and you ain't subscribed yet. And I'm gonna catch y'all. We back to the content.